The tempo editor, or tempo ruler, allows us to create complex changes to the session tempo quickly and easily. Let's take a look at how we can put this function to work for us. Looking at the rulers up here, we can see our tempo ruler. If we click on this little arrow here, we get access to our tempo track. This is where we can insert changes in tempo that Pro Tools will follow as we play back and record. We can resize this window for a better look at things by clicking at the bottom here and dragging up and down. That's going to be fine for our purposes. We can also use the plus and minus buttons found on the right here to rescale it, so we can see more or less information here. Let's take a look at our transport here. In order to insert tempo changes, Pro Tools must be in conductor mode. Even if you have your transport minimized a bit, you'll still see the button here. Just click it on and off to turn the tempo track on or off. You can see when it's off, it says manual tempo, but we want it to be in conductor mode. Right now, we're set to the standard tempo of 120 right across the board here. We can see the number up here. Let's change this to 130 BPM for the beginning of our session. In the tempo ruler, place the cursor right at the beginning of the timeline. Now click on the plus button here. Clicking this will bring up a window that allows us to insert a tempo change. We want the tempo change to start right at bar 1, beat 1, so make sure to set the location to 1, 1, 0. Because we put the cursor there, it's already selected for us. Next, enter 130 here, and choose quarter note for the resolution. Just to make sure that it starts right at the start of the bar, we can check snap to bar. Hit OK. All right, there's our tempo change. Now it's 130. Now, let's say we wanted to create a tempo change at, let's say, bar 5. Say to maybe 115 BPM. Again, we can just press this. It's already at bar 5, go 115, and OK. And there we go. We go from 130 to 115. Let's listen to it. Hear that slowdown? Looking back at the tempo ruler, we can see these two green regions showing us the decrease in tempo graphically. We can also see this stem with a little diamond at the top of it. This stem works just like the velocity stems we've looked at before. By using the grab tool, we can click on it and drag it up and down, or left or right. To delete any tempo event, just hold down Alt or Option and click on it. You'll see a little pencil come up with the eraser down. Just click and it's gone. Now that we've looked at how to insert a tempo change and remove it, let's look at how to draw in a tempo change curve. Instead of statically jumping from one tempo to the next, we can have Pro Tools change it for us gradually over a course of time. Let's select the pencil tool here, and let's go with line as our drawing method. Before we start drawing a line, we need to select the timing resolution and density. Check out these two drop-downs here. Let's start with resolution. This lets us set the beat note value for tempo events. The beat note value of the session is defined by the meter. For instance, since we're in 4/4 time, the beat is on every quarter note, so we should select quarter note here. We can also just have it set to follow the metronome click. For 6/8 time, you might want to select dotted quarter note. Let me explain density. The best way to explain it is to show it to you. Let's just go with quarter note for now. Now, let's zoom in a little bit here so that we can see each bar, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. Now, place the pencil tool at bar 6 and make sure you're resting right around the 130 mark. You can actually see it if you look here. So we're at 130 right there. Don't worry about being exactly on bar 6 because we have grid mode on. So as soon as we click near bar 6, the cursor will snap to it. Now, click and drag, lowering the tempo to 100 at bar 8. Notice how there are exactly 7 tempo changes between 6 and our tempo change here. They seem to be appearing every quarter note. I wonder why. Maybe because we set the density to quarter note here. Density directly affects the number of changes that will happen in a tempo curve. The smaller the value, the more changes there will be. Also notice that the tempo change actually is happening before bar 8. This is because Pro Tools is creating the tempo change based on the length of the line we created, rather than on the bar the line was drawn to. I'll show you how to create tempo changes that span a specific number of bars in the next couple of chapters. Let's see what this looks like in our transport as the session plays. As we cross over the changes in the tempo ruler, we can see the tempo changes in the transport along with them. Move ahead to the next chapter to learn more about tempo changes.